Hi, don't be alarmed. It's me. I know it doesn't look like me because I'm wearing these things. Um, this is like, I'm like the Clark Kent to my Superman, but I can't take another minute in my contact lenses because allergies. That's all I can tell you. So you get to look at me in my glasses tonight, which I'm not happy about. These are like, I don't know if any of you guys wear glasses instead of contacts, but like these are only in the house glasses. Hi Steph, happy Monday to you too. These are like in the house, nobody sees me in a day of light unless it's like an emergency glasses. As a matter of fact, my husband, who's here right now, well, not here. He's going to be here one day, you guys. Raise your hand if you want Jason Sobel to be live in the closet as a guest one day, and you can pick his brain. Um, he looked at me and said, "You're going live in your glasses?" And yeah, I am, because we keep shit very real around here. And the reality is that I have like a doll eye and a wonky eye, and my contacts were not having it. So sorry, that's what's going on. We're going to talk about a few things tonight. A few things. I don't even remember what I put in my description, but I have show notes, and I actually made them somewhat professional on my really cute pads. These are from Fun with Pads. They're on Instagram. If you guys want to check them out, I'm going to cover them because I don't want to give spoiler, but aren't they adorable? So if you guys need like any kind of pads, stickers, anything, they make really cute stuff. I don't know if they're on Facebook, but they're definitely on Instagram under Fun with Pads. So we're going to talk about a few things tonight. Obviously, with the nature of what I do and the writing, I'm getting such a glare from my glasses. Maybe if I put lipstick on, I'll look more presentable. Maybe that will help. Let's see. My mom would yell at me because I don't have lipstick on, and she's a believer that you should always wear it. Nope, still the same. We're going to talk about a few things. The first thing I want to kind of dig into with you guys on this lovely Monday 3-day weekend where everyone had their children home for an extra day, which is super awesome, both realistically and sarcastically, if that's even possible, is the fact that if you have your livelihood anywhere on Facebook, or even if personally you put yourself out there a lot and you put personal posts out there and write about personal stories and you're a little bit vulnerable, what I've learned, and it will never stop me from doing it, but what I've learned is that vulnerability, mostly in any form, really, not just on social media, brings out all the assholes. It really, really does, because there are so many people just hanging out behind their computers who are waiting to pounce on anyone, maybe to get aggression out, I don't know, or they get triggered, or they are bored, or they're insecure, and there's just all these people sitting behind their keyboards waiting to engage and fight with somebody. So usually people like myself who put themselves out there and share very personal things, good, bad, and ugly, we get those people. All of us do. Sometimes it's in plain view and you see it in the comments. Sometimes it's in direct messages. Sometimes it's emails, but it happens. Mom, I'm in the glasses because my mom even hates it, because my contact lens was literally coming out from allergies and seasonal stuff, and I couldn't take it one more second. So you're going to have to deal with it. I'm sorry. Jason, clearly you and Jason both do not like how I look in glasses, but this is my face, so I don't know what to tell you. And it's your fault. You birthed me, and so you're genetically responsible for my poor eyesight. So you're going to have to deal with it tonight. So anyway, what I was saying, vulnerability brings out a special kind of asshole behavior. And I've experienced it many times, but recently, thanks, Mom. Recently, oh, thanks, babe. A couple days ago, I shared an article that I wrote for Pop Sugar about how it is really frustrating and annoying to me, to my family, and to my oldest daughter especially, when people refer to her and her sister as half sisters or half siblings. So let me back up a second. I'm not disputing the science. I'm not like ignoring the genetics. I'm not trying to ignore the fact that my kids come from two different relationships. That is, we are very open about that. If you've read anything I've ever written, I'm open about it. So I wrote an article about how just emotionally, my older daughter gets upset. She's little, she's 10 years old, and she's like, why do people keep saying she's my half sister? She knows she has a different father. She's not dumb. but she doesn't understand the need for people to constantly define and qualify that relationship. So I wrote a whole article about it, how we don't ever refer to my kids in my family or among my group of friends or in real life as half anything. We refer to them as sisters. They're sisters, whether they're half, whole, step, whatever it is. Siblings are siblings. That is my point of view. I understand not everybody shares that, and that's okay. You don't have to share my opinion. You can, if you are one of those people who's comfortable walking around referring to your family members, as what they specifically are, according to science, that is all you. I feel like it would be the same thing if you had an adopted child. Are you going to go around and be like, this is my adopted son? I mean, it's just a shitty thing to do to a kid, I think. As an adult, I can take it. I just don't think it's nice to do that to a child. So anyway, I wrote an article about it on Pop Sugar. I shared it a couple days ago. And usually when I share something like that is very heartfelt and it's a personal story, the amount of messages and comments I get are so amazing and lovely, and the people are so supportive, and I have people saying that I relate to this so much, thank you for sharing this, or oh, I always hated it when my sister referred to me as her half sister. And so there's all these points of connection where you're clearly striking a nerve with people in a good way, and everyone's listening and sharing their opinions, and it is how it is. Stephanie, I dare someone to tell my stepfather that I'm anything other than his daughter. I know, it's Stephanie, it's disgusting. So the first instance that happened, the first negative comment I got was from some girl on Instagram who wrote a whole dissertation about how I'm lying to my children. I'm paraphrasing here, so if I don't even remember your name, but if you're watching, you don't need to come after me again. I'm paraphrasing, but basically she said, I'm lying to my children. It's not really fair that I, am not allowing them to live the truth of coming from two different fathers, and that they are in fact half sisters, and it's more damaging to do that. A whole array of things. And then most people were in my camp saying that they didn't feel the need to qualify anyone's relationship. Why even put these descriptors in there? What is the point? All it does is knock a kid down and make them feel like, oh, should I love my sister less because she's my half sister? It's stupid. I've never in my life met anyone who has step siblings or half siblings who, when they introduce them to someone, is like, this is my half sister. It's just, I don't understand how as a human you couldn't Jason, it wasn't She Got No Nipple. I got a follower once that followed me, and her screen name was She Got No Nipple, and we laughed about that for a really long time. So it was upsetting because this woman didn't agree with me. And then when I came back at her, in what I thought was I wasn't rude, but I don't pull any punches. I'm not going to be like a pushover. She then got defensive and turned into a victim and told me I was coming after her and ganging up on her. The whole thing was ridiculous. And I shouldn't have even engaged. I should learn after almost 5 years of doing this to not engage with people, but I was triggered. Because those are my kids, and I put myself out there to talk about it, and then I have someone basically telling me that I'm lying to my kids, which is ridiculous. Okay, so that's that. Then the next day, I got a direct message on Facebook from some woman who I have no idea who she is. I have no idea if she even follows my page or just saw it because of hashtags, but she wrote me this whole long novel about how I'm doing a disservice to my children because they should be able to celebrate their own individual fathers. It was so ridiculous. And what I'm noticing is that the people who usually come at me that way haven't even read the entire article. They see the headline, or they read it, or they skim it, and then they make their assumptions and they come after me. If either of these people had read my entire article, they would see that I basically said, I get that they are technically, if you're talking about, blood relation, that they are half sisters because they don't have the same father. They've never been lied to about that. My older daughter lives with her father half the time, for God's sake. She knows who her father is. So this woman goes on and on and on and on about how the damage I'm doing, and then ends it with one of my favorite lines telling me that I need counseling. I need counseling to deal with this because clearly I'm having a hard time with this. So here's I'm going to wrap it up in a nice little bow for you. When you're engaging with people on social media, like myself, whether you're writing for a living or whether you're just putting something out there, maybe try not to be such an asshole and so judgmental and tell someone they need counseling for putting themselves out there. Maybe just read what they have to say, try and see if you can see it from their perspective. And if you can't, great, no harm, no foul. You're entitled to your opinion. But don't, after reading one article that I've written, come into my inbox, or what do they say? The kids say, slide into my DMs and tell me I need counseling. It's so infuriating. Amy, people say shit on social media they'd never say to your face. Truth, sister. She needs to worry about her own problems and mind her own business. Also, she's nuts, period. Don't give it another thought. No, I'm over it. I brought it up because I wanted to discuss it tonight so that you guys could see behind the scenes the kind of stuff that I have to deal with, because it's crazy. Tell her she has half a brain speaking to you that way. This is why we were meant to be friends. I didn't say it to her, but I said in one of the comments, and I'm like, do I come after people and tell them they have half a brain for coming at me for not wanting to refer to my kids as half sisters? So we're on the same page. But this kind of stuff happens all the time. I had the same exact experience when I shared an article about struggling with accepting my post-baby body after 2 kids and being 40. And, there's nowhere to go from there. I mean, you can work your ass off, but if you've never really had abs for 6 years, you're not all of a sudden going to get them. I'm not going to go keto. I'm not cutting out carbs. I'm not cutting out sugar. I mean, I'm not doing any of that. So this is it. This is as good as it gets. And I wrote an article about how I hate putting on bathing suits. I hate going in the pool with my kids. I wasn't comfortable in my own skin for a long time. And I did it one day. I put the bathing suit on. I posted a picture. The article went semi-viral. It was shared in a million places. And most people had really, really nice supportive things to say. But then, of course, there's those people who chime in. And I had another one telling me that I needed to seek psychiatric help because I was basically going to give my children eating disorders. So you have all these people out there who all of a sudden overnight get a PhD in Facebook and are telling you what kind of medical help you need, when really the whole point of why I started not just the blog, but branched out on social, and why I share so much of my life, is because every time I do, for all that negative stuff, the amount of people that reach out to me privately or publicly who are so appreciative and feel like there are so many people in their lives where they don't share openly, but they have this safe space to do that. That's why I keep going, because as much as it helps them, it helps me to have common ground with so many women I've never met in my life, and some men too, believe it or not, who I've never laid eyes on, probably will never meet in my life, but you share this camaraderie through parenthood and motherhood. And that is the amazing part of social media. That is the awesome part about finding people who you can relate to through stories that you share, and vice versa. And that makes it worth it in itself to deal with the morons, but there's always those morons. Hey, Meredith. It is very frustrating. Meredith, you probably see it too. I'm talking about all the trolls that come out on social media when you write something and they have very strong opinions and they try and shame you. It's really frustrating. It will probably never stop, and I realize that. And I've gotten really good about not reading the comments on the sites where my stuff is posted, like Pop Sugar and Scary Mommy and all the bigger sites, because those people are off their rockers bananas. Like I can't tell you the last time I read an article on any of those sites, because that's where like the crazy people come to play, and I don't have time for that. But then when they're in my page posting stuff, it's hard to ignore it. Oh, hold on, missing comments. Zena, appreciate you so much. Hashtag real deal. Thank you. I appreciate you. I know that you comment. We talk back and forth a lot, and I appreciate you as well. Thank you. Amy again. People don't realize that we put ourselves out as brands, on the line to help others, not just to make a living. It's very easy for them to judge behind their phones, but I'd like to see them kill themselves day in and day out for a bigger purpose instead of being internet trolls for a living. Seriously. And Amy, so if you guys don't know, I'm going to give you a shameless plug. Not shameless. I'm doing it totally willingly because I love you. Amy, who we're talking back and forth, is the genius behind Moabs, the mother of all baby showers, which is events everywhere. They're all over the country. And I spoke at one of her events down here, and we've become great friends, and we're very similar. And, even though what we do differs a little bit, she's doing the same exact thing. She's hustling. She's putting herself out there. She's building a brand. She's building a community. It's really hard when you're trying to do something so good, built around good, and then you have people who just have negative things to say. And it's very easy to say, oh, I'll just ignore it. And most of the time I do, but every once in a while something gets in there and it gets you. Meredith, oh my God, I read the comments. Meredith, don't do it. It's bad. I read it the first few times that I actually got published, and then I learned really quick not to do it. The first time I read them was my first ever Scary Mommy article, which was about divorce, and how I had friends in my life who were just so not empathetic to what it meant to be divorced and have to get sitters and leave your kid when you really only have them 50% of the time, and like just all those insensitivities, whether they're malicious or not. The comments were so out of control. I was called names, I was called selfish, I was called a bitch, I was called everything you could possibly imagine. And so I decided out of therapy that I would take those comments and read them aloud on video, kind of like when Jimmy Kimmel does the mean tweets thing. It was very therapeutic and also allowed me to call them out in a way that was not passive aggressive, because I speak passive aggressive on a regular basis. I'm a big fan of it. It's super funny and it's part of my personality. But this, because they made it public, I could basically, without being a bitch, call them out because it was right there, and it was super fun. I highly, Meredith, you should do that maybe. When you read comments and you really need to like get over it, if you read them out loud in front of an audience sometimes, even online, it's actually really laughable. Maybe have some fun and set them to music. I'll be your hype girl and help you out. Kim, never read comments. It's the worst of the worst. Thank you for your posts. Thank you. And yes, don't ever read them. Amy, good people stick together. You know it. Meredith, no, I read the comments on my piece. Oh yeah. I stopped reading. Well, actually, I didn't read any of them on Pop Sugar. I don't ever read them. The only ones I read were the ones that came to my page, but you have thicker skin than I do then, because I can't do that. Nancy, have to go. Glad I got to hear some of it live for once. Bye, Nancy. Nancy, I'll see you tomorrow. Stephanie, I'm glad you keep going. Yeah, listen, there are days where I question it and I'm like, should I reel it in? Should I tone it down? But that would not be me, and it would defeat the whole purpose of me quitting a corporate job where I was making a nice paycheck and, not having to wonder what my finances are going to look like that month, for nothing, because I really do believe in what I say, what I do, and what you see is what you get. The Rachel in the closet is the same Rachel you will meet on the street. I don't put on any facades, and I hope that that continues to build this community, because that's what it's all based on, is being real. Meredith, I did read the first few comments on the few pieces I've had on Scary Mommy, but after the first negative one, I stopped. Someone called me a sadist because I wrote a piece on how I was shopping on Thanksgiving night. Right. And I'm laughing because saying it out loud is so ridiculous that someone would take the time to do that. But it's crazy. It was, you know what? I don't know if you guys saw the meme I made, I think it was last week, that went bananas, and it was based on actual events. Sorry, that's TMI, but it was. And it was, if you enjoy a toddler staring you square in the vagina as you're changing your tampon, then motherhood is for you, or motherhood's right up your alley. So that got shared left and right by everybody. And one of my daddy blogger colleagues shared it on his page, and I'm trying to think who it was. And someone wrote, I'm unfollowing you. Like, they took the time to write on his page, I'm unfollowing you. And he was like, no, you're not. You just commented. Like, people are crazy. There's just too many people out there with like aggression that they like to take out on strangers behind the safety of a keyboard. So that's what goes on behind the scenes of this glamorous life. When you write, you get these crazies who come out to play. But even aside from all of that, I hit a huge milestone, and I can't even believe it's real life. This weekend, I hit 20,000 people on Instagram, which I can't even believe, because in September I had just hit 10. So it leads me to believe that the things that I say are relatable, which is the most incredible validation I could ever get in my life. And I thank you guys for sticking with me through this ride, because I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just winging it and doing it as I go along. I know so many people who are bloggers and writers that I look up to, and they are so organized. They have editorial calendars and they plan everything out. And I like look at what they do and I'm envious, because I wish I could do that. Just so you know, I don't ever do that unless I'm on a deadline specifically for Pop Sugar or the other publications. That's the only time something is planned. Otherwise, I'm literally like, oh, I want to write about that. And I have an open document on my computer that has all of the articles. I've thought of in my head, whether I'm in the shower, in the middle of sleeping, bathing my child, going through a meltdown, and I keep my notes and I get to them when I can, but there's no like organization here. And even if I paid someone to organize my life in that way, I don't think I could do it. For me, the creative process is real time, and I just can't work that way. So I am totally winging it. I don't know what I'm doing. And so those of you who have stuck with me, I love you. I love you so hard. Samantha, you are 100% relatable. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so the 20K was huge. If you haven't seen it already, on Facebook and on Instagram, I made a really fun video with my kids releasing my inner gangster, but also showing how moms can so easily get knocked right back down to earth by the things their kids bring to the table. And if you're ever questioning if you're doing okay as a mom, just know that I realized about an hour ago that I forgot to put on deodorant today. If we want to keep it real, I did. All right, what else do we have today? All right, so last week we talked about the Perth blankets, and I had posted a giveaway on Facebook and on Instagram. They are tagged in the comments if you want to check them out, but it is a gorgeous blanket. I have it on me right now, and in this weather in Florida, it is delicious, deliciously cozy. They are made from alpaca, but the rarest kind of alpaca. And Jamie, if you're here, correct me, it's Surrey, I think, is the type of alpaca, which is really, really rare and unique. And so they're very extra special. We are giving one away. And before I do that, I just want to remind you, if you are not the winner, because I do have the winner, I was contacted by them a couple hours ago with the winner's name, and I'm very excited. But if you still want one and you didn't win, two things to keep in mind. Number one, they have discount codes specifically for you guys. It's WHINE, all capital, WHINE, as in wine and Cheez-Its, and you will get a discount on the gorgeous blankets. Valentine's Day is around the corner. It is such a good gift. It's such a good gift. They're so beautifully made, such high quality. They're huge, the size of like a queen size bed. I am in love with it, absolutely in love with it. And I'll show you mine again. Mine is all different shades of gray because that's just what my house is. And it is so cozy. So don't forget to take advantage of the discount code, and make sure you're following them if you didn't already from this giveaway on both Instagram and Facebook, because they are about to do another really fun contest and you will have a chance to win a blanket if you didn't win this one. But the winner of the Perth blanket is at the Rachel Faith on Instagram. On here, she's Rachel Mizrahi. I don't know if you're on, Rach, but you won the blanket. So that's super exciting. And I know Rachel, so I'm excited for you because you can snuggle with your brand new baby and your baby daddy and get all cozy, and you'll all fit underneath it. Mom, you made that joke last time. Again, my mother, 50 Shades of Gray, but bunch. Thank you. Thanks, Mom. Yeah. So make sure you're following Perth because their blankets are gorgeous. Go check out all their stuff. Rachel, if you are on here, we will send you a DM so that you can get in touch with Jamie and claim your blanket and pick out your cozy color. But you guys definitely check them out. They even come so, look, they come so cute in these little bags. And Perth is for peace and earth because we definitely need more of that. So definitely check them out. They are so lovely. And I think that's all I had tonight, unless anyone has anything else they want to talk about. Oh, good. Thank you for tagging Rachel. Yep. She's going to be super excited. I think that's it, you guys. It was a short show tonight because I don't really have a ton to commiserate about. But I am super excited for Rachel, for you to have your blanket. If you guys have other things, as always, that you want me to discuss or talk about, if you can't tell already, I'm super approachable. I really, really try to respond to every single comment and message I get. Sometimes it gets a little bit overwhelming because I don't see them all as they come in. But I really, really do try to respond to every single person who reaches out. So if I haven't responded to you, it's not on purpose. I'm not ignoring you. I forgot to wear deodorant today. So that's where my head is. You should just know that. Just know that. Okay, yes, off to The Bachelor. Hi, Donna. The Bachelor is on. If you guys are watching, I want to know who your favorites are. So far, my favorites are Hannah, the one that he gave the first impression rose to. I love her. She's adorable. And Cassie, the speech pathologist surfer. Those are my two front runner early favorites. There's a lot of people I can't stand, but too many to name. But if you watch The Bachelor, that's another thing that we can talk about. We might have to have a whole like reality television discussion because I love reality television. I'm not afraid to admit it. I'm not sorry about it. There's too much heavy stuff in our world, and we deal with a lot as mothers. And sometimes I want to zone out and watch these people act like animals and do things that I would never do in real life. So, and I'm okay with that. My mom, Vanderpump. Yes, Vanderpump Rules is another one. If you watch that, you are my people. Love Vanderpump Rules. But no, Mom, we're going to watch The Bachelor. And I have to admit, I really wasn't excited about Colton being The Bachelor. But I don't hate him on it as much as I thought I would. I wish it was Jason. I was totally team Jason. And now he's dating Caitlyn, which I don't know how I feel about that. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about, you're not into The Bachelor, I'm sorry. I'm wrapping up. Have a wonderful rest of your week, and I will see you guys next weekend. And don't forget to go check out Perth Blankets so you can place your order and get your discount with the WHINE discount code, and stay tuned for the next contest. And congratulations, Rachel. Bye, guys.